Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Once again, it's Malinko coming to talk to you. I wanted to rant and rave about something for a minute. So Star Wars Battlefront 2, made by EA, was released back in November of 2017, and it was a bombshell to begin with because they had mostly because of all the microtransactions and the pay to win and the loot box or loot crate, loot box, whatever you want to call it, system that they had in the game. Well, they received a lot of backlash for all of that. So they took out the microtransactions and all that stuff in the game to make everybody happy. Well, they've just announced that they're going to be slowly adding that back into the game. And that's kind of like putting a bad heart back into a person that needs a heart transplant. Doesn't make much sense. So, I think the reason that they're doing this mainly is because that they're saying that it just didn't make enough money, and so they want to put the microtransactions back into the game so that way people pay to have these microtransactions, these DLCs, and these loot box, so that way they can make their money back on this game. But the thing is so far, from what I understand, is they've sold like 9 million copies of this game. So let's do some math for a minute here. Okay, so let's just assume that everybody that bought the game bought it for $60. All right, times 9 million. That would be over half a billion dollars for a single video game. And that's only assuming that they paid the base price. That doesn't count if they bought a rare digital deluxe or some kind of rare deluxe legendary edition of the game that cost like $120 or $200 or whatever the hell they offered, that had a statue or some other crazy nonsense that comes with games these days, and then all the pre-orders and because they got to milk as much money out of you as possible. So yeah, that is $500 million, over $500 million right there, and that's assuming on base price. All right. So that doesn't count all the DLC and stuff. So you're telling me over $500 million they can't turn a profit. And the problem is that EA is one of these businesses that treats it solely as a huge corporation business, which I understand that they are, but it's a video game. I mean, it's like they want more. They can't take like, okay, we made 80% of of what we spent on the game back in just profit. That's great. That's wonderful. No, they want like 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money back. And I mean, I understand that they have stockholders to look out on and stuff of that nature. But I can't claim to know everything there is to know about a giant huge corporation company needing how much money they need back on a single product. But I would imagine $500 million on a single product they would need back, like, in order for it to make money. And like I said, that's only if everything was sold at base price. If it was a game that had a bunch of microtransactions and stuff like that in it, it feels like more like it should be a free-to-play game like you see on your cell phone all the time. It's, you have to buy coins to be able to buy this, to be able to buy that. With that coupled with the fact that I had to pay $60 for, standard price of this game of $60 just to play this game, to have it filled with all of this microtransaction stuff, it feels like I'm getting ripped off. It either needs to go free to play with the microtransactions, or it just needs to not have any microtransactions in it at all. I mean, what they should really do is they should really get rid of the pay to win stuff. In fact, every single game, in my opinion, should just completely get rid of the pay to win stuff. That is completely just unfair. It's completely ridiculous, and it only suits it just basically tells you that the company doesn't care about the game and the content that they're creating. They don't have any passion in what they're doing. They just care about their bottom line. I understand that you should care about your bottom line, but you should also have, passion about what you're creating and actually care about your customers. I'd understand if they put, like, say, solely cosmetic items in the game, even if they were just under straight up bought out microtransactions of I pay $2.99 for this skin for this character, I'd be fine with that. But the loot box system needs to go. The pay to win needs to go. It's just, that's kill. I'm sorry, but pre-orders, microtransactions, pay to win, loot boxes, that is killing the gaming industry. And I guarantee if that continues in all the games that come out in the future, that is going to kill the game industry. People are going to stop wanting to play these games. I want to stop playing these games solely because of those reasons. I mean, there's a couple games that has that system in, which is, somewhat excusable, somewhat like Overwatch, which I kind of get a little annoyed with their loot crates, because not necessarily because they have loot crates, but what I do like is that the loot crates have everything that's in the loot crates is solely cosmetic items. It's not play to win. You're not having to pay for, extra maps and DLC and stuff like that. You're only paying for the loot boxes to get the DLC, or to get the loot boxes to get the cosmetic items. But the one thing I do kind of have a little bit of an issue with the loot crates, with the cosmetic items, with Blizzard, with Overwatch, is the fact that most of the skins that they bring out for that game, it's all seasonal and you only have a certain amount of time. But anyways, back to Battlefront 2. They took out what was killing the game, and then now they're putting back in what was killing the game so the game doesn't die. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But those are just my rant and raves and opinions on the whole situation on Battlefront 2. And it's still not a game that I'm going to be playing much of. Anyway, so that's my rant and rave for today. Like and subscribe, all that good jazz. If you want to see more of my videos, I will be putting them up whether or not you like or subscribe anyway, just because I'm bored. But you have a good day, and stay golden, YouTube.